time.
E poi
The textbooks that are given to students, at what age do students read or use those books, the books approved by the Ministry of Education? So what is the age of the students that read those books?
Marco Pivetti.
Allora,
Okay.
ritengo,
Now, I think,
mia opinione è
this
che
is my opinion,
l'unica strada
that the only way in order to reach a just solution, a morally just solution
conflitto arabo
to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is
un intervento coercitivo
a coercive intervention from the outside. The solution has to be imposed by force onto the two parties. I think that there is no other possible solution because 50 years have gone by and they have shown that a situation that has lasted so long with all the stigma that it has produced, well, has been very positive advantages for Israel, and it will continue to be positive for Israel. So we need to see what type of solution can be envisaged and as a result of an external coercive action. I think that the only solution that could be adopted here is that of having two states. An external coercive intervention should lead to the creation of a democratic, equality-based state in Israel and in Palestine. Is not practicable, is not feasible. The last speaker said that the situation of the two states is impossible. It has become impossible because of the settlements. I think that we need to make this hypothesis, and that is the solution needs to go back to the situation that there was before 1967, and that the recognition of the de facto situation of what was illegally acquired after that date, that cannot be accepted, except for some minor exception of secondary importance. So I think that in order that we need to pursue a different solution, so other than imposing a solution with a force means never finding a solution, because it means recognizing that the changes that have been made cannot be reversed. The annexation of the occupied territories by Israel through the settlements. And so I too think that in order to be a pacifist, you have to have a vision, but we also need to keep our feet well grounded on the floor, on the ground. I think that just one quick question. Well, thank you to the speakers for their wonderful presentations this afternoon. As regards Nello Rossi and apartheid that he described and specified, I wanted to share a piece of information with you which may be interesting, namely that there have been some reports drawn up in an extremely professional manner and detailed manner with in an accurate manner, and also from a legal standpoint they are well supported and well argued. They were brought to the attention of the International Criminal Court by a coalition of Palestinian organizations that work together together with lawyers that are experts in international law, so a network that has been set up, and they use the concept of apartheid amongst the crimes against humanity that they attribute to Israel. And this has been brought before the International Court. Well, Israel did not ratify it, but since Palestine ratified the Statute of the International Criminal Court in January 2015, the court has jurisdiction, and indeed it is doing a preliminary examination that has been underway, was started in January this year, and unlike the position taken in 2012, where it had been said that we can't deal with Palestine because the legal status from an international standpoint is not clear, but after the resolution of the General Assembly of the United Nations in 2012, 29 December 2012, well, from that point, since the status of Palestine has changed, even though it is not a member state, but it is an observer state, this point is no longer to be discussed, or it's no longer a point of discussion. So it hasn't started the investigation formally, which is the next step, but a preliminary examination is underway. And within this preliminary examination, there are a number of reports that have been made, and I'm referring to documents that are made up of 600 pages. So the documents are rather bulky. And in that case, Al-Haq, which is a major Palestinian organization based in Ramallah, took care of this, and it puts these files together. So it's not up to us to say whether there is an apartheid crime or not. It will be the judges that will say this, but it is important at least to start speaking in certain terms, because this is nothing new. It's the South African jurists from Ton Luger and so on who have studied in depth all of these practices in the light of this concept. And the elephant in the room that we're not talking about, but which makes it impossible to have a single-state solution, that's the demographic bomb represented by the Palestinians. Israeli Orthodoxes are producing more children than the Palestinians. In any case, the Israeli policy, over and above the veil or whatever, well, what we can perceive what we perceive from the last 20 years is that Gaza is being detached from the Palestinian territory and pushed towards the sea or Egypt, and little by little annexation of the West Bank with as few Palestinians remaining there as possible. Well, this takes us back to the campaign that was proposed today by a guy, stop evacuating the Palestinians, and the forced eviction, 22% of the Palestinians in that area that have been ousted. So I think that you have the floor now to give an answer to these questions.